But we're more without the body naturally than we are with it. I thought everybody had that experience. I was speaking energy before I was speaking words.
Okay, listen to this. Serious. Imagine being shot at point blank range, surviving against all odds, and then getting healthy enough to go run the Boston Marathon. Today, I'm thrilled to have Rudrani Devi on the show. She did just that and so much more. Rudrani transformed her trauma into a mission to heal and inspire others through her work as a medical intuitive, best-selling author, and holistic energy therapist. You won't want to miss her incredible journey of resilience and transformation. So this is Rob on another fun episode of the I Am Painfree podcast. I sit down with this remarkable woman, a survivor of the 2008 Mumbai attacks, who turned her near-death experience into a powerful healing journey. Rudrani, a medical intuitive and author of 3 best-selling books, shares her insights on overcoming that extreme trauma, harnessing the power of energy healing, and choosing happiness against all odds. She also discusses her work with access consciousness modalities and her successful aromatherapy company, Devi Essentials. So join us to delve into her background and her inspiring story. Here she is. Hey, this is Rudrani from the I Am Painfree podcast, and welcome back. We're excited to have an awesome guest here. We've got Rudrani Devi, and it's going to be really fun. She has an amazing experience and just background, so it's going to be an exciting one. So strap on and let's have some fun. How are you?
I'm doing great. What an awesome introduction. Thank you so much, Rob.
You are your experience is so vast, and you've done so many things, and the books you've written and the things, the modalities and stuff that you use are real exciting. So I just like to learn more about people like yourself, and so I'd love, if you don't mind, to introduce yourself to my community, right? What brought you to do what you're doing, and maybe just a quick background.
Oh my goodness. Let's do this quick. Heavens to Murgatroyd. How am I going to pull that off?
Yeah, just squish your whole life into a couple minutes. That's all.
I'm just going to do it in this little tiny...
How hard is that?
I'll do the best I can. All I can say, really and truly, when I was literally standing in a crib, speaking to light beings, or at least I call them glow people, I thought everybody had that experience. And it wasn't I was speaking energy before I was speaking words. And it wasn't until my mother could actually articulate that this was a family lineage and that we had this capacity to speak to the other side. And did I get that, not everybody actually chooses this.
Interesting.
So that's where that was. But she was kind enough to never stop me in any way with moving forward with all these crazy beings of light, or whatever you want to call them. I was a tree hugger before I knew that was a thing.
Right. So where did you grow up?
Energy. So I guess I am a certified facilitator of access consciousness. We are a movement that is in 179 countries. I have written 3 books. The first about an event that happened to me in India. I'm making this as quick as I can.
Wow.
Where during the downturn of the economy, I think this was 2008. It's funny
I think that was a bad one.
Oof, terrible. But during this time, I had a holistic healthcare clinic. I went on a meditation retreat in India, and I was shot point blank range, easy for me to say, by terrorists. And my right tricep was shot out, my right quadricep, and my neck was grazed. And I was told once I actually survived the surgery to remove the bullet, I was told I would never walk again.
Wow.
And all you got to do is tell me I can't do something, and I find a way.
There you go. And that was in 2008, huh?
2008, but I had been studying these different holistic modalities. I'd studied at the National Institute of Health in Boulder, Colorado. I had learned a lot of energetic modalities to make me fit into this reality, because I could do things that, make pennies fly across the room. And it was like, how does one do that? Nobody else seems to be doing that. And then I discovered that there was a lot more to what I was doing. And so I fit it into a little box.
Okay.
I'll be a holistic facilitator. And that blew up into me traveling around the world, teaching energy sessions, classes, and writing 3 books. And the third one is the title's based on my podcast, Choosing Happiness, an Uncommon Way to Find Joy in Your Life, tools that I use to navigate my life. And it speaks 8 languages.
That's really cool. That's really cool. When did you when did you start writing? As you wrote 3 books, obviously. What made you be interested in taking all this experience and putting it down on paper?
That's very interesting. I went to college on an academic scholarship when I was 16, and I didn't know what I was going to major in.
Right.
I thought, well, I'll do communications, right? Broadcasting and communications, just broad spectrum thing.
Right.
I really didn't know I didn't know how to use my talents to do what I was doing. But for me, the writing is like channeling. Because I also have a writing course that I teach. And to me, if you have an idea for a book, it's already written. It's just tapping into the elementals and the quantum entanglements so that you can actually channel what that book is. You wouldn't be an energetic match if you hadn't already co-created it. So I basically would just sit at my computer, and my eyes are closed. I type 110 words a minute, and it would just flow through me. Even if it was my life experience, I had this co-creation with the universe that said, hey, these words need to be out in the world because the people want to see them. They want to hear them. I have the audio book as well. And I wrote this book. Dude, I wrote this book in 10 days.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not very thick, 90-minute read. But the first one took me a little while longer. It was 400 pages.
Wow, that's a big book. That's a big book.
Soul Survivor, and then For the Love of Running is right next to it. That one's 300 pages. Those are all my unicorns.
Nice. For the Love of Running, is that an actual like physical running?
Yeah, I actually ran the Boston Marathon. It was my 10th marathon, and I ran it after I was told I would never walk again.
Wow, that's so cool.
So that's that book. And then the first one is Soul Survivor, and that was about what happened in India. And as you can see, this is a lot of pages.
Yeah, that's a big book.
Comparative, yeah, it's like Atlas Shrugged these two together, and then you've got this little.
Yeah, then you got the little icing on top.
And that book is just taken off like wildfire. I feel like I'm chasing a toddler, to be honest.
That's exciting. That's real exciting. I also had a big love of running. That was my goal in life, was to be a professional runner. Back when I was in college, I got a full ride running scholarship to a Division I school, and then I got hit by a truck. So
Damn.
I know that ended my running career, but it's fun to find other fellow runners. There's a lot of us. I
wasn't striving for what you were doing. I was what they called a professional amateur athlete, the one that made the numbers high enough where they would pay for your airfare, maybe your first night in the hotel, give you running shoes.
There you go. Hey,
your entry
and a marathon. I've never even run a marathon, so that's just kudos to you. Yeah, I was a miler, so it was like four laps around the track was enough for me.
Oh my God, you were a sprinter.
Yeah, it was a controlled sprint for sure.
Good for you, because that's not easy either.
Yeah, true. You've written 3 books. You mentioned that from a really early age, light beings is what you'd call them.
I call them glow people. Why? I don't know. I might be older than you, but I remember Romper Room, and they had the glowworm.
Ah.
So for me, I thought they had this. My mother said she would walk into the bedroom, and I'm in a crib, standing, gripping the edges, and my eyes are like squinted because they were so bright. And she's looking, and she's not seeing anything, but she could perceive the energy.
Oh,
this is a lineage from her side of the family. My grandmother and great grandmother I can still speak to, and my great grandmother is the one that had told her, "You're going to have a prophetic child. You'll know when you have her." And she was like, she didn't say it like that. I was waiting for you to show up, and you didn't. She's Italian.
What's your background? Where did you grow up?
Both my parents are from Italy. It's an arranged marriage, and I'm number 5 out of 6, and I'm the one that seems to be using the talents and abilities. I do have an older sister that has prophetic dreams. She dreams of things right before they happen.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It is. I thought everybody could do these things.
Yeah, but it's natural to you, right? But to us outside, we're like, what the heck, right?
Well, this is what I know, Rob. Anybody can actually, if you choose it, can actually create that. Yeah. And that's what part of these classes that I teach are about.
Okay.
It's so interesting because when I got shot, I'll put it in quotes, I died several times. I went out of my body. And I would see it, I'd be like, oh, that's a miss. I don't know if I can go back to that. But then I get back in and then I go back out. And then I suddenly realize that the body, we're embodied. We're being with the body. But we're more without the body naturally than we are with it. We just do the body to have the experience here. At least that's what I'm gathering from all of it. So for me, I can very easily step out of it. And that's how I do a lot of my remote sessions with people. If they want healing work or whatever it is, I can leave a toe in this physical body and still be all the way across the planet in China or in Italy or in Germany or wherever it is that I'm hired to facilitate.
Wow, that's
It's so
fascinating.
cool. It's
Yeah.
so cool.
That is definitely unique. Most people are gonna say, "Come on, this lady's crazy."
I think I'm crazy. I already know I'm crazy, y'all.
I'm just saying what people are gonna think. So, what do you do when people say that? How do you say, yeah, "Hey, this is me, and this is my experience, and this is why I'm not crazy"? How do you?
Oh, Rob, I never said I was not crazy.
you just accept it, huh?
Here's the thing. I chose this because anything that you have created in your world, you've actually chosen. Your point of view creates your reality. Your reality doesn't create your point of view. You can believe that.
Right.
But you don't have to, you can be in this world and not of it. I get how different and how weird I am. And I think myself, I would question people that wouldn't question.
Right. There you go. Right.
Of course I appear crazy out of my mind and all the things. And then show you that and float a pin across or whatever it is. Here, I'm going to show you a little something. I had to go to my sunroom. I'm packing because I'm teaching some classes in Paducah, Kentucky, and I'm driving over there tomorrow.
Very good.
I already had these bad boys next to the suitcase. Right?
Okay, very good. Very good.
Do you know what divining rods are?
I've never seen nor heard of them, so I'm excited to learn about them.
They're usually, it might be a Wiccan thing. I don't know. But anyway, there's people that use them to find water. And it's usually wooden sticks. Okay. I had a guy make these. AT&T guy on the pole. Made these because I wanted them to be able to move really easily, right?
What are they? Just metal devices?
It's metal. It's just metal. And see, it's already wanting to move. It's already, stop it. They're already moving. So you use them to find water. I use them to show people's energy fields. So I'll go and teach a class and I'll have a student stand up and I'll go, you want your energy field to be big like this. You don't want it to be like this or over here. Okay. So I was teaching access bars class, 32 points in the head. You touch them in acupressure, you touch them in different groupings, and it gets rid of thoughts, feelings, and emotions that are keeping you stuck in your cellular memory, PTSD, all the things. And they're already wanting to do it. So I hold up my divining rods and they just start going nuts. I'll just hold one. And I'm not doing anything. I'm just holding it, but they get so excited to be seen. Stop. And people are going, you're just doing that. And I'm like, no. And then I hand it to them and they hold them and then whatever. And then I'm like, okay, you want to see him spin again? Okay, let's have him spin inward. Let's stop him and have him spin outward. It's called consciousness, y'all. It's just consciousness. I don't have to do anything. I just have to acknowledge that everything is energy.
Wow.
And even a rock is happy when you acknowledge it. A tree, a bird. It may look like an inanimate object, right?
Right.
But in truth, everything is comprised of energy.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've done a lot of research on the human body and how the human body is all made up of energy, which is stuff that a few years ago I had no clue.
I thought people that talked about it were crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And now I'm like, oh, hey, I didn't know that our body was made up of energy and it interacts with frequencies. I've done a lot of frequency research and stuff for my day job, and so
I've looked into you a bit too. What got you involved? Let me turn the tables for a minute. No. You got hit by a truck.
Yeah, I did. I got hit by a truck, and then I call it the second truck that hit me was COVID. So when COVID hit,
down for 4 months, man.
It was just so bizarre because I started off as a runner, as I mentioned, and during that period when I was a runner, I knew how important what you ate fueled your body. So I'm like, okay, so why are now with this pandemic, why are they vilifying all natural health doctors? They're just like trying to tell you basic things that you should do to help with your health, and they're like vitamin D was one of the doctors that just glared out to me that was like, that's just a normal thing that comes from the sun. It's vitamin D, and they just vilified this guy like he was a criminal.
Right?
Put him in jail.
How dare you?
yeah, how dare you use something totally natural to help you? I was like,
Hmm.
something's wrong. And I didn't know what it was. And so I just started doing a lot of research on what was happening in our world. And man, I just uncovered the onion and really was fascinated with what I did find. And I realized that I've been lied to my entire life.
Yeah,
You
what
know?
it is, we're conditioned for so
Yeah.
long that we just take it as being real and true. And
Yeah.
why wouldn't we?
Very true.
That's what
Yep.
we're taught to do. I don't beat yourself up. You're
Right.
caught up now. It was interesting because for me, I was diagnosed. They didn't know what it was. I'm also a singer songwriter, perform a lot, and we would be in clubs
You
where
have lots
people
of
would be.
talents. I love it.
Usually, I have my prop over here. We're oh yeah yeah yeah.
There you go.
I just auditioned for a band and got hired as a lead vocal, so we're going to be performing every weekend starting on the 20th of this month.
Nice. What
Crazy.
kind of music?
Normally, I'm a funk R&B singer, and this is
Okay.
more of a rock
Nice.
band. So
That'll be
more along the
fun.
lines of Pat Benatar and Blondie and
Ah,
the Cars. And I'm more of a Aretha Franklin, Patti LaBelle, Mother's Finest. I don't know how old you are. Maybe I just dated
no, I
myself.
like those.
Prince.
Yeah.
For me, it's like anything Aretha. You make me feel like a natural woman. Woman. Anyway,
We just keep
this,
going. This is
there
great.
we
We
go.
can just do a
Woo-hoo.
concert today.
I was, and I'm a little crazy, dude. I'm Rob. I was getting ready to drop my album in 2019 and had planned on doing a showcase in September. And I went to get a massage, and I had been boxing that morning, and I noticed I was out of breath. It was really weird. And I'm laying down on the table, I'm coughing. I know when I'm flat, I'm coughing. I'd been sleeping at an angle for a while,
Okay.
but I thought it was just allergies and all the things. And my massage therapist said, "You've got a lot of fluid in your lungs, girl. You need to go to a doctor." But I'm fixing to leave in a couple of days. And then when I get back, I've got this showcase. I was going to keep my certified facilitator's status. So I had to
Okay.
fly out to, where was I going? Puerto Vallarta? I don't remember. Anyway, one of these beautiful places. And I kept coughing on the table. And so I immediately went to a doc in the box to figure out what was going on. And they said, you only have 41% lung capacity.
Oh, wow.
How are you, if it goes below that, no, I'm sorry, it wasn't 41, it was 81. 81. 41, I'd be dead. 81. They said, if it goes below 80, you're going to need to get on a ventilator.
Wow.
And then they took an x-ray of my chest and they said, do you smoke? And I went, no, I don't smoke. I'm healthy. What are you talking about? And they were like, your lungs are crystallizing. The pores look like glass. And so they had me do they had the x-ray and then had me to go do a CT scan. Sure enough, they were like, girl, you're dying.
Oh, my gosh.
What's happening? And within 3 days, I couldn't even walk without a cane. I had to cancel my trip. I had to cancel the show.
Oh,
And this is
no.
before we knew it. COVID. This is September of right before 2020. And I'm like going, I don't know. I thought I was dying. I had to close down my business. I couldn't eat. I was trying to eat and I couldn't swallow. So all I was eating was shakes.
Okay.
I lost 35 pounds. I started pureeing steak.
Oh, my gosh. So you could get some nutrients in your...
I needed something more than a protein shake. And I couldn't eat a
Right.
salad because I would choke on the leaf.
Oh, man.
And so anyway, long story short, I finally started feeling better by, was it November? I was given permission to fly to Australia. And it was
Okay.
during the time they had the fires. And
Oh,
so I'm wearing a mask because I don't want to get sicker. So here I'm actually protecting everybody else because I evidently have COVID before we even knew what it was.
got it. Got it.
I get to Australia and everybody in the airport, half the people are wearing masks. I'm going, because of the fires? What's going on?
Yeah.
And then I go back home and then I fly out to Brazil, this time again to up my certification. Because every year it's somewhere in 179 countries. It's going to be in a fun place no matter. And I get there, and now I'm wearing a mask, and now people aren't running from me because more people are wearing masks. And I'm like, okay, something weird's going on. Hadn't come to the United States yet.
Oh, wow.
So this was February of 2020. I get home, and then within 2 weeks we're shut down. And I went,
wow.
did I actually get this pandemic before they even knew it existed?
Yeah, it sounds like you did, isn't it?
And so I was a long hauler, but for me, long haul was from September. I finally started feeling better by February. What was your experience?
Yeah, mine were really minor.
Oh,
The times that I got sick, it was
so I win?
not bad. It was just like a cold, right? It was a bad cold, and it was no fun. But
Yeah.
it was like I had a minor flu. It wasn't like I had a
Oh, dude,
major. So I got obviously very lucky compared to you.
I couldn't stop coughing. I couldn't talk at one point. I ended up trying to get off of everything. And that's when the PTSD kicked in and I
Mm.
started stuttering. I had memory loss.
Oh my god!
I had to have sticky notes. I had a list of things I had to do in the morning: brush your teeth,
Wow.
drink a shake. Yeah, I would show up for Pilates on the wrong day or at the wrong time or had forgotten to sign up. It was the weirdest. And I was trying to hide it from people because I didn't want them to think I'd lost my mind. And then I thought, oh my God, I've lost my mind.
Maybe you're losing your mind. Yeah, holy smokes.
Felt awful.
Yeah, that's crazy. Then what? So how did you obviously got healthy, and then what did you start doing from there? You sound like you closed your business, and so
Well,
how did you?
I reopened the business. I started teaching classes. This is what finally it came down to. Everybody wanted to put me on antidepressants because of the PTSD. Because
Okay.
I'm having night terrors. But I'm not having night terrors about what happened in India because I actually had the tools to navigate that. And that's why this
Okay.
book is so important. In my opinion, no pressure. But I think we're helping a lot of people. So I wanted to find alternative means. And I reached out to my mentor, Gary Douglas, who's the founder of Access Consciousness. And I was like, I need to do something. I've got these allergies and then I want to get off the stuff. And he goes, get off of everything and find a good homeopath. So when I found the homeopath, that's when the PTSD system, all the PTSD systems, there you go, in my body got activated because now I didn't have anything keeping me from experiencing PTSD. If you've ever read the book, The Body Keeps a Score, man, that book gave me PTSD because I was like, oh man, I'm a marathon runner. They were talking about how people do sports to not deal with certain traumas going in their body, like people that jump out of planes.
Okay.
Not that I would do that. People that train really
Not
hard.
that crazy, right?
Yeah, people that train really hard to get to muscles
That's
and all the
right.
things. A lot of times they're doing it to ignore all this stuff that's stuffed in their bodies.
Oh, interesting.
And so and then here I was taking Advil and birth control and adult acne medication orally. And here I'm this holistic therapist and I'm taking all these drugs.
Right.
Nothing serious. I didn't smoke pot. I didn't like it. Forever, if you guys like it, I don't care. Wasn't for me. There were so many things that I was trying, but nothing. So my medication was extreme sports. I was in Newsweek magazine for bodybuilding. I was Miss Knoxville in '84. So a lot of things. And the writing, I know you mentioned the writing and the connection with that. I wrote a lot of articles and that kind of thing. But what I realized was I had been taking all this stuff to suppress and it wasn't suppressing anymore. I would take 4 migraine meds, Advil, and drink copious amounts of coffee just to hold my head up at one point after I started trying to get off of stuff.
Okay.
But when I did get off of everything and I'm putting drops under my tongue and I'm like, this isn't going to work. These drops, homeopath, whatever. But all of a sudden, everything started unwinding in my body. And all the PTSD and started coming up and I couldn't function. And I was stuttering and I was dizzy and I had short-term memory loss. And a friend finally pointed out to me when we went out to lunch. Oh, and this is when I really lost it, Rob. This was like, so I ordered a burger with extra tomatoes. Okay? No big deal. Cheeseburger, extra tomatoes. Organic. I brought my own bun, gluten-free. Here I am. I even brought sprouts. And I'm asking for extra tomatoes. Evidently, I asked for extra tomatoes 3 times.
Wow.
My friend looked at me and she said, are you okay? And I said, I already ordered the tomatoes, didn't I? She goes, 3 times. And I went, I'm sorry. I'm not right now. And I don't know what's going on. And she said, it's okay. I'm your friend. I'm here for you. And then I just proceeded to tell her. And that's when I finally got vulnerable. And I found, after the homeopath, I found a really good chiropractor that did acupuncture, and had me do hand-eye coordination. I did all these exercises. I was eating everything exactly the way he told me to, macrobiotically, to try to get my body to the state where it could heal itself.
Nice.
And so the fourth, I've got 2 more books I'm working on actually, but the 4th book, I think it's going to be the 4th one, is called PTSD and Me, is the working title.
Okay.
And it's basically about how I managed to turn it all around in 4 months' time with 3 holistic doctors.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
homeopath, a chiropractor, and then, of course, this homeopathist. So
awesome.
it
That's
can
really
be done, unfortunately, because of the systems in place in this reality, insurance and all of that. These people are not insured. It was very expensive. It was one of the most expensive journeys,
You're
but
right.
I wouldn't, I'd do it again.
Yeah.
I'd do it again.
Yeah.
And I'm pain-free.
There you go. That's right. That's
I was
right.
in a lot of pain, a
I
lot,
can
mentally,
imagine.
emotionally, physically.
That's why I call this I am pain free naturally and faithfully, is because one is I want to try to help people do what you did, the natural path, to go do it naturally, just get people off of these big pharma drugs, because the more I research, the worse it gets.
I even make my own bread now. Actually
So,
mill the wheat,
do you really?
and I put it in my little machine and mix it up,
Good
and then I
job.
knead it
Good
and I'll
job.
bake it, and I
Yeah.
make little sandwiches with it. I wasn't eating sandwiches. I thought I was allergic to gluten. Y'all, just so you know, Google it. Gluten is just protein. By the way, what I was allergic to was all the things they were enriching the bread. You cannot put anything into bread. Niacin, that's all BS, y'all.
You're right. Right.
This reality makes you believe that they can fortify stuff. That is BS. There's no such thing as fortification. You can fortify yourself by eating an apple.
I think it's fascinating, because there are so many people that don't understand how messed up the wheat is in the United States. And it's just like, it's in so many different things that you don't even realize
Yeah.
it. And so
It's
the
called shelf
fact that
life.
you,
They wanted the shelf life, Rob.
yeah, and the fact that you make your own and grow your own, is you almost have to do that if you're going to use that product. It's so interesting that most
And you
people
know
just don't
something?
have a clue.
Dude, that bread is so freaking off the chain delicious.
I'll bet.
I've eaten bread. I thought Pepperidge Farms was the bomb.com. Sorry, Pepperidge Farms. You're doing the same things to our bodies that, I don't know, the bleached white bread is doing.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Unfortunately, yeah, it really is sad when you get down to what's happening with our food supply and what's going on in our world. But I digress. We could talk a lot about, we could probably talk about lots and lots of topics like that. But the path that you went on is really interesting, in the respect that you got rid of PTSD through a homeopathic. And I love that you found a holistic chiropractor who used other modalities. And that's what I'm finding so fascinating about the chiropractor world, is it's not just what 99% of people think of a chiropractor. They think about your spine,
right?
Your spine cracked, and that's when
he very rarely ever even gives me an adjustment. Right. I have something called, I'm going to put it in quotes because I'm not going to buy it fully, but they had to put a word to it. It's called hyperkinetic movement disorder.
Okay.
So when I get brain shakes or when my PTSD kicks in, at least I know what it is. And what I do is I put myself in a safe space. You'd call it a padded room back in the day. Put yourself in a safe space, and I let my body unwind. And I never know what it's going to look like. My arm might fly up, my leg might kick, I might start stuttering, and then in 5 minutes it's gone, because I don't make it a wrongness. It's my body letting go of the PTSD.
Interesting.
Why would I want to stuff it deeper into my body by taking drugs? Dr. Deering, he's amazing. And I actually did a podcast episode with him, y'all, on Choosing Happiness. Look up Dr. Deering, he's an amazing man.
I love
He's very young, but you know what?
What's his name again? Dr. what?
Dr. Justin Deering.
Deering.
Nice. Yeah, and he grew up in East Tennessee like I did, y'all. And amazing. What had happened is he got injured. I'm trying to remember, I think it was football. And his grandmother brought him to a chiropractor. Okay. And because his grandmother's crazy. She cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And so he goes and he got the first relief he'd ever had before. But this is a doctor that's not revered as a doctor. Right. So insurance doesn't cover him or anything. But he was like, I got to know about this. And he ended up going somewhere in Asia to intern. And that's where he learned acupuncture and about herbs and all of this. And so his practice is holistic. He considers the whole body. Right. And that's the thing, y'all. You're dragging your bodies around. You're not even including it. And then when it gets sick, you get mad at it and you throw drugs at it. That is very mean. And don't blame yourselves. You didn't know until I just told you.
Yeah, that's what's.
And you think I'm crazy anyway.
So. No, but I love it, because you're exactly right in the respect that we all at least most of us grew up as a pill for an ill society, right? Where you go to the guy in the white suit, and he's going to he's going to take care of you, and he's going
Sure.
to more than likely prescribe you medication rather than looking for the cause of the problem.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm finding so fascinating now with people like yourself and people like chiropractor you just mentioned. Deerling, is that what his name is?
Deering, like a
Okay, Deering.
deer, Dearing, Dr. Deering. And his wife was a registered nurse, and now she works in his practice as well. They do some peptides.
That's
They're
awesome.
ahead of their time. He even has one of those pressure tank things that you can sleep in. And
Oh,
what Michael Jackson had, I can't think of it now.
hyperbaric chamber, probably.
Yeah, there you go. He's got one of those. He's got one of them shakies that strengthen your bones. You stand on, and
There you go.
he's a curious man. He's a curious man.
That's
And
good.
we would text each other stories and articles, and I did energy work on him and his wife, and it was very interesting. He had an intern once, and I didn't know what he thought of me. And he starts introducing me to this young kid who's going through chiropractic school. And I was like so moved. I was touched. He goes, yeah, she basically does what I do, but she does it empathically. She just talks to the body and knows where to go, which is basically it. The body tells me where to put my hands and what to do. It's like these things, they just do their thing. They just do their thing. I can even hold it this way and it does. It's like crazy. It's a little harder for it, but anyway. Are so cute.
Fascinating. We
Energy.
only have a few more minutes left, but I'm excited to just when people want to get a hold of you, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you and find about your books? I'll put all the information in the show notes so people can find them. But
I do have a link tree. A link tree actually has all of my stuff because I have websites for my music, for my practice. I have 2 YouTubes, one for the singing, one for my podcasts. And
remind us what your podcast is called.
The first one was called Get Happy, and then I got bored with it because I was interviewing everybody from one organization, which I love that organization. I mentioned it earlier, Access Consciousness, but it sounded like I was selling the same horse to the same farmer.
Right.
And I got tired of it. So I put it aside, and then I thought it came out of choosing happiness. And then I came back with choosing happiness, and I started having everybody on my podcast. Didn't matter who you were. Yes. I'm just curious, and I made it about how do you choose your happy. And it's you won't know what you're going to get. Actually,
every time
it's true. I interviewed an astrologer friend of mine that's like the astrologer of the stars. But when I met him, you could get in with him in 3 months. He's booked out for 15 years now.
Oh my gosh!
His name is Stephen Forrest, and we talked about my chart, and it was fascinating. And then I talked to another woman who wrote The Ghost Photographer, Julie Rieger, and I had been on her podcast. She'd been on mine. And then she flipped the tables and she said, let me interview you for a minute. And she starts asking me about my near-death experiences.
Oh, right.
The thing was, I didn't put them in the book, and I didn't put them in the first book because I was told by someone who read my book, this book is fantastic, but you're going to have to take all that out because you're going to have crazy people coming after you. They're not going to believe you. Don't do it. And at the time, she might have been right. Or it's my friend that used to write for the Rolling Stone magazine. And so she said, I read your book and I knew you'd left it out. I said, okay, you got me. And so we ended up actually doing a 3-parter because there was so many people that she was fascinated with that had NDEs. And we're actually looking at putting together a special, like 6 episodes where I do my story first and then I interview other people with the same story. I've written it up, but we're all just so busy right now that it hasn't come to fruition.
Got it.
Maybe in the future.
There you go. So we'll be on the lookout for that. That's awesome. Then I'll make sure we have your Linktree link set up so people can access all the awesome things that you're doing. If there's one call to action other than a Linktree thing, what else would you like to send people to? Where would you like to?
My website, www.rudranidevi.com, rudranidevi.com. It actually has all those links there as well. And if you want more information, there'll be like a video here or products. I have an essential oil line, Devi Essentials, which is proprietary blends. They're very high quality, very high quality. Most of the stuff you're seeing out there that for $5 or $25 is so cut. There's vibration in it. You can have the poor man's version. I'm going to put that lightly, but the things, if you really want the real deal, these are pharmaceutical grade.
Very good.
Essential oil blends, and they have different names. I'm a meditator as well. I've got different meditations online, and there's an oil that actually works with the complete chakra system to get you in a state of where you can align with higher being, your higher self or whatever, and connect with your angels and whatnot. And there's a lot of stuff going on, but
Fascinating.
it all
Yeah,
be
you
found on that
are.
one.
Yeah, we could probably do 5 episodes on your life.
People are going to get bored. They're like, that
No,
lady
it's
is
just
just,
exciting that all the things that you're doing, and I just wish you luck with all the things you
thank you.
are doing in the future, and wish all the best for you.
Thank you so much. I think I just get bored and I have lots of energy.
There you go.
I've been here for a minute, so that's why I've done so many things.
No, that's good. That's good. And
So,
hopefully you're here for lots more minutes, and
we hope
blessing
so.
lots of other people.
Thank you. You're so sweet. You're so kind. Thank you so much.
Thank you for taking the time. It's really exciting to have you on the I Am Pain-Free podcast. I appreciate it, and we'll make sure we have the links, like I mentioned, at the bottom of the episode, so people can find you. And then if you want to find out more information, go look her up and find all the amazing things that she's doing, and follow her. And we can all look for that NDE experience in the future as well. So
we'll see, won't we?
Stuff. All right.
Thank you so much, Rob.
Yeah.
I've had so much fun, and thank you all for listening. Now
there
and
you
in
go.
the future.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, and God bless you all. Take care.
Ciao, ciao.
Right. As many of you know, my focus at the I Am Pain-Free podcast is help as many people get pain-free as possible. And we strive to use all natural and alternative therapies to accomplish that goal. Well, today I'm thrilled to introduce to you a revolutionary product that aligns perfectly with our mission of natural health and well-being. It's called Exodus by Exodus Strong. At Exodus Strong, their mission is to help you break free from the grip of big pharma and embrace natural solutions that promote vibrant health. With a foundation rooted in the wisdom of the Bible, the all-natural supplement harnesses the power of 7 key ingredients specifically mentioned in the scriptures. The flagship product, Exodus, is designed to be transformational, providing benefits such as energy enhancement, stress relief, blood sugar stabilization, pain relief, and anti-inflammation. So join the movement, right, to help them get 1 million new people to read the Bible every day and transform their health naturally. When you purchase Exodus, use code IAPF at checkout to receive a special free gift with your order. It's time to exit the old you and step into a new chapter of vitality and well-being. To get there, you go to exodusstrong.com. So it's Exodus, EXODUS, STRONG.com. And check out and use that IAPF for the I Am Pain-Free podcast. And then you'll experience the benefits of the Exodus mineral blend. This mineral blend is amazing. It's got the molecular hydrogen generating formula that's backed by hundreds of scientific studies. So begin your journey feeling great and looking great. Don't miss the opportunity to take control of your health with the all-natural way. So go check it out. I think you'll really enjoy it.